In this video, we'll be looking at how to monitor the performance of a local area network. Um, the first thing that we'll look at is what is monitoring and also what is performance and so forth. Then we can take it from there. Monitoring is literally observing and then drawing a conclusion on whether something is working to expectations or it's not working to expectations. Then obviously the performance is how fast or how slow or how efficient this particular network is. Now, normally the question then becomes, why then should we monitor? First, you can get information about the health of your network, meaning if a server is stopped responding or your part of your equipment in a network is no longer working well, you can then be able to know which one it is and be able to actually either replace that. Maybe it's a router, maybe it's a switch, whatever part of your network equipment that could be causing your network not to function well. You can then have the knowledge and be able to actually replace it or fix it. You then get also a better understanding of the long-term trends. So network monitoring tools can create graphs and reports about network performance over time. So how fast is the demand of bandwidth growing? Let's say you own a library, and what time is the most is your internet the most efficient? I'm sure for most people in South Africa would know that half the time when it's at night, the internet speeds improve, while during the day they're at their worst. This is mainly due to demand. Remember, at night people will be asleep, so the people who are using the internet are fewer than the ones using it during the day. Companies would have closed also. Again, those are usually the highest traffic or the highest internet users. So once they're closed, it therefore means there's not much competition. That therefore also leaves us with a little bit of more room for better performance. The other thing you can also get is improved ability to check on your ISP. Your ISP is your internet service provider. That could be your Vodacom, your Telcom, your MTN, Cell C, and so forth. So half the time, remember, they actually promise you a certain package to say to have speeds up to this speed and so forth. But sometimes they don't live up to those promises. So you would like to check and see if for real, you're actually paying for what you're getting. So you can now really show them that I actually paid for a package that goes at these speeds, but the current speed that I'm actually receiving peaks at this amount of speed. So they can then sort that out, or you can then be able to cancel that contract and go to another service provider. But nonetheless, at least now you'll be knowing, are you really paying or are you really getting what you paid for? Because the difference between the different packages by these different companies is usually based on the speed. The higher the speed, the more expensive. These days, the highest speed you can get is usually from your fiber optic connections, but actually also that is expensive to connect, and also it's only available in certain areas and so forth. So you wouldn't want someone to then claim that they have connected you to a fiber optic and you're running at the highest speed, and then you realize your internet is slow. So monitoring your internet, you might actually realize that maybe the package that you're actually paying for is actually just overrated. It's not really what you're getting at home. So you'd rather then either switch to a better or smaller package or something like that. Now, here are the key actions that you should do in order for you to be able to monitor your internet. One, get permission. Be sure you contact your network administrator before you install any network monitoring software or equipment. If misconfigured, a monitoring tool could flood the network with unnecessary traffic. Remember, when you're actually monitoring your network, you're actually probing it. You're actually making something, which is probably a certain tool, use that network and determine how fast that network is. In so doing, you're actually increasing the things that you have to do to use the network. So that could actually slow down your network as well, which is totally out of question. not the thing that you are looking for. So it's then important to make sure that you have checked and gotten permission from your bosses, from all the stakeholders, and especially from the network administrators, as you might actually, in your quest to find out better information about your network, you might actually end up destroying the network itself. 2, ensure compatibility. Check to see that the network monitoring tool you're interested in can communicate with your existing equipment. There are many different network monitoring tools that are available, and they keep on increasing by the day. But the more they are, the more also there are certain tools that don't work with certain equipment. So it goes without saying that you should make sure that the equipment that you are using in terms of your current network works well with the monitoring tool that you're looking for. This monitoring tool, in case you're wondering, they are actually a piece of equipment, or you could literally just use your good old Windows taskbar, which is you can get by pressing Control Out and Delete at the same time, and then just going to performance here and looking for your memory disk Wi-Fi. So you can see these are actually this is actually the performance of my Wi-Fi at the moment. The zeros means that's when I'm not having any network activity at all. And then these peaks means it can actually go up to such heights, which I think is about 100 kilobytes per second, and so forth. So all those things determine what is actually happening. As you can see, what's happening here is because I'm not really using much of my network as we speak, because I'm not doing this live. But if I was maybe to bring out a certain website, maybe just go to YouTube. Usually that one is probably will ask for more network, and put this aside. You can see things are going a little bit crazy over here moment I put my YouTube app. Worse, if I actually go on to play something, let me actually remove this volume, you'll see that now my network is going crazy. A lot of activity is now taking place, and once I stop that, you also see my response from my monitoring of this particular network. Now, so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about monitoring. This is the simplest form of monitoring your network. You could then get a better equipment that is meant for real hardcore monitoring, that you can connect to your network and find out more about the activity on your network, whether it's good or bad, and so forth. So compatibility then becomes an issue. You might find that you buy your equipment from a certain company, then the network monitoring equipment is actually bought from another company. The question then becomes, can those two pieces of equipment from two different companies work together? Now, if they can't, it therefore means you have lost the whole purpose. You can't actually monitor your network. So in case you ever have to then invest money into this, make sure you read up and research about what you're about to buy and what you're about to invest in before you actually waste money. Now, create network diagrams. It's very important to have what are called network diagrams. Network diagrams show you exactly what is connected and where it is connected. Without actually having these particular network diagrams, it is hard to do anything on your network without messing things up, because you might disconnect one thing here and not reconnect it back, and that will really mess up your networks and so forth. So it is very important for you to create network diagrams. There are many different software that are used to do so. There's one called Microsoft Visio. It's by Microsoft, obviously. It looks more like your normal Microsoft Word, only that it is more concentrating on the visual aspects. So you actually have a lot of little diagrams that you can just pull in and join together, and then be able to see what your network actually looks like on paper. So this is actually some of the ways that you can also be able to be more efficient with your networks, and also be able to diagnose any problems without creating more problems in the long run. So that's the first introduction about the monitoring of our network. Let's see each other on the next video.